I am back again with another analysis. Today we're talking about the news just released today about British pound, and we're going to check that news very quickly, and then we'll directly jump into the chart GBPUSD to analyze it with technical analysis and price action method. And based on that, we are going to have a quick um, look at the weekly. Then we will jump to daily and hourly time frame as long as we get closer to the current time and current price. Also, we're going to come up with short, mid, and long-term conclusion. And also, there was a previous analysis a few days ago, and the link is in the description. But we're going to cover the key points, but also have an update because price just barely moved as we were expecting. Let's jump into the news. Here is the news that sterling firm after rate hike and inflation jitters, and it says that the currency pair exchange rate vaulted unchanged to start Monday, but the key data is looming. The GBP USD pair was off to a slow start this week, but an area of UK force economic data promises to bring the heat. So for now, we are not seeing any uh, a strange momentum or weird momentum today, as was the start of the day. As you can see, not a very long shadow or candle, but it is more important news are upcoming. So let's jump into the weekly as we always start, and we will go through the details of what is going on and what is upcoming as the conclusion. First of all, as always, I would like to zoom out a little bit on the weekly to see that we had this downtrend momentum during the several past years, and I'm seeing that this downtrend as an impulsive wave. So because it has been created a lower low, so I would like to grab my Fibonacci retracement tool to see how much this impulsive has been corrected, almost 50%. So this is the important one. I can see that we have had an important level also on this 50%. Maybe I can adjust it a little bit better. We can extend this. We can add some arrows here. So it used to be a support. Then after the breakout, now it is working as resistance. So you can see these here. And that's good for now. From the weekly perspective, I'm happy with this. We've discussed about this in our previous analysis. Again, key points are going to be upcoming, but not going to jump into the details. It is enough to take away from the weekly. I would like to jump into the daily. Now I can add more arrows to these. As you can see, price has been reacted to this level more than we were seeing, as we are seeing more details here. I guess it is enough to understand how this zone is important. So with that in place, now as the corrective structure of the previous one, so let's call this out at that how much it has been corrected. It was 50% of Fibo. So after that, we're seeing some sort of a range market after reaching out to these, creating a double top, or maybe recently creating another top here. Where we are going to discuss this more, but as the daily structure, I'm seeing, as I said, this range market. So I can see it supply zone or support zone here. So as our daily one, so I can add more arrows here that we see that it is not the actually this is going to be our support zone. So this impulsive wave as our bigger corrective structure. So possibly after, as we saw this very big impulsive downtrend, we probably going to be to see an major ABC pattern, at least something like this to the top, maybe, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter for now, but this is going to be the intermediate, more major wave of that, possibly. So that's why this range market can be counted as our corrective structure. So after this impulsive A, we are seeing some sort of range market, and this is seems to be a sideways corrective structure. So I can immediately uh, grab my Fibonacci retracement tool to now understand how much this daily momentum uh, has got corrected. Maybe I can just forget about these shadows this on that day. I can see it has been almost sit on the 38 percentage, which is good. Even if we want to extend it to this, it is close to 23 percentage up. Doesn't matter. Which is important for us is that these sideways corrective structures are usually less than 15 percentage, which is this is covering that. So I can now remove this tool and add a call out to speak to one of them, that it is 38, almost 38 percentage of FIBO, or we can add less because we actually omit that shadow, less than 38 percentage of FIBO. So it is enough to for the daily. Let's jump into the hourly view. Take a closer look to this range market, or maybe coming back to daily. Also, I want to see the minor waves of this wave. Also, I can count these as this B wave. It can be AB3, but this AB3 itself is a minor wave. So I can change it if I can to minor and a little bit highlighted. So we can see that we had that impulsive A wave, now some sort of flat as ABC, sine wave corrective structure less than 38 percentage. And now we are seeing a return to the top of this flat, which is a very important weekly resistance zone. So now after adding that, I would like to jump into the hourly view. And now I guess it's a time to have that update on our previous analysis. Again, the link is in the description if you are interested in. We were when we were discussing about this chart previous time, this was the point of the previous analysis, and here I utilize the um, some sort of a parallel channel, if I can find it, yes, because the wave was not so clear. I actually decided to utilize this and try to use this major on the top, this higher high here, and then extend it to see what is the possible uh, continuation. And I saw that, okay, we had some sort of a breakout here, and we discussed that we are going to see uh, maybe in a slow continuation to top, because I didn't see enough power on this impulsive, hourly impulsive wave to the top in the middle of this flat. Also, we talked about that because it is not that much powerful. Maybe this is a fake out. We are going to see a return to this level, and this is the case. This is what exactly happened. And then a little bit faster to this top level. And this is exactly this triangle that I draw here. We had that invested in the previous analysis, and now we know which one was the case. Anyhow, this is the update for the previous analysis, that yeah, we had this continuation, but let's just get a closer look to what has happened so far. After that, we don't need this uh, channel anymore. We also don't need that one. So take a closer look to this uptrend momentum. Now it is going to give us a good information in the 4 hour. we are seeing that price creating higher highs, but on MACD, which the only oscillator I'm using or indicator of, so to say, we are seeing a divergence as price created higher highs in an uptrend. We are seeing that on MACD it is creating lower highs, and this is what we call divergence, as the shape of it is clearly um, saying it is a divergence. So with that, it is an indication of reversal. One point. Another point is that we are reaching to this very important resistance zone, weekly resistance, strong zone for the third time. That's the second thing. I can see and almost five-wave structure with that first wave is so powerful, third wave is a little bit less, and fifth wave. And with that, maybe we can change this to maybe minute wave inside of this flat, which is it is showing that that impulsive wave is also is going to be finished. That's another indication. I can try to draw a trend line, not just from the beginning, but maybe something like this, and maybe another one from to the top. As we are counting these waves, and we can see this impulsive wave has been created. It seems that it is sort of a diagonal, which the waves are entering the previous levels. Almost the fourth wave almost just has been reached in the territory of the first wave, which is called diagonal. But more importantly, we are seeing a rising wedge, which has been broken. This is well known as the rising wedge, which we are seeing a breakout and a retest to the breakout point. So if I now grab my rectangle again, let's change its color to something else so we can have a better view of that, because it is almost in another resistance zone. We can see now in this strong hourly resistance zone, we are seeing an hourly, in this weekly yellowish resistance zone, we are now seeing an hourly resistance zone that price has been just reached out to down, which is a point of the breakout of this falling wedge and now retest. So as the upcoming um, conclusion, the short one, the short term of that, I'm expecting a reversal and continuation of this downtrend, because we are seeing a lot of indications. Divergence, finishing up the five wave impulsive structure to top, reaching to the resistance zone on the weekly, reaching now as a triple top, reaching to this resistance zone on hourly, again as for the third time, creating a rising wedge, and also we discussed about that divergence. So this is my short-term expectation. In the previous analysis, by the way, now I can remove these rising wedge. Here in the previous analysis, we also talked about that we are going to reach out, as we discussed, to this level. And in our long term, we were one of the scenarios were returning back, and now we are seeing this sort of that. So our short term conclusion now is the beginning of the previous analysis, midterm for the previous analysis. So let's come back to this um, hourly view. This is the actual momentum that we were expecting. Let me just, if I can bring back this rising wedge, I want to add another thing to just measure the length of this rising wedge. And after the breakout, we are seeing that the target, it is if here almost to this level. So the possible target of this momentum will be to this important uh, level, possibly. So I can change the color, bring it back to my normal color, what we had already. Okay, so this might be the target of this rising wedge. Now we can remove that, and I would like to show you another point. Let's clean up the chart a little bit. We have already added a lot of stuff, so I can see a possible head and shoulder as well. So this is going to be my right shoulder. Yeah, this is the right shoulder, and this is going to be my head here. This is the head, and we are going to see, as I'm expecting, that we're going to see a downtrend from this point. I'm going to see this as a possible left shoulder, and this is still not a head and shoulder. So this is a possible right shoulder. Sorry, this is the left shoulder for sure. And this is the possible right shoulder. And now if that pattern just get completed, and how it's going to get completed, it is going to be this is our neckline. So this downtrend, if it actually be successful to continue if the momentum down and reverse the down and break out this neckline, so we are going to have uh, the continuation of the momentum as the reversal, because this head and shoulder pattern coming up to they will reveal, and they will get created on the top of the uptrend, and they are reversal patterns. So the target of this pattern is the length of the top of the head to the neckline, and from the breakout point of the neckline we are going to see uh, a continuation to the same length, and we are seeing that now the target of this head and shoulder is also sitting exactly on the uh, this rising wedge target, which seems everything is same. Also, I can add another thing to this as an hourly impulsive wave here, if I can draw it more accurately, hopefully. uh, Here. Uh, okay, it seems that I need to be a little bit much faster. If I can draw it here, it is almost sitting on the 15 percentage. This level, I can maybe adjust it a little bit to top. Now it makes more sense. So this is going to be a corrective structure of this head and shoulder. So this is going to be our short-term momentum as our conclusions for these. Let's remove these things and let's talk about the midterm, because it was the expectation after reaching out, which we successfully detected that fake out from that parallel channel, and then continuation, the momentum to upturn to the resistance zone. Now we are actually uh, seeing a start of our midterm, which is downtrend. And now jump into the daily view. Let's reset the chart and let's see what we are seeing as the midterm now. So we can get rid of this as well. And now we know we are going to see some sort of a reversal as our short term. Anyhow, from this point, I would like to come up with two different scenarios. We actually talk about this ABC, and this is going to be our major B, and regardless of it is if this major wave is A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we know that the second wave or B wave is a corrective side wave structure less than 38 percentage, and it might be possible that it get completed after A, B, C, a very completed flat. Now we are going to see a momentum just going to the top and break it, break this very strong resistance zone. That's one possible scenarios which might be happen. Uh, And that will happen if back the current the up these nowadays bad news are coming up for US dollar, and also you can see this a little bit of powerful momentum to top. It's due to those kind of news on this chart as well. You can see the impact. So if that's the case, and those bad news just coming up, the banks breakdowns or the chaos in the U.S. economy, then we might see after this reversal a breakout to this resistance zone. That's one possible scenario. And as we can pay attention to this price action, how it has been started after completing the corrective structure, it seems that it is some sort of another way of momentum. So this is seems to be in a sort of an impulsive way that continuing to up. That's one possible scenario. And of course, if we in a midterm, again coming back to the top of this resistance zone, then in that case, in the long term, so if I just zoom out more on a weekly, in the long term, this is yes to the 15 percentage for now, but it might be to complete its wave to C to 61 percentage or even higher to complete this ABC uh, corrective structure. Or if it is an impulsive, it might be even much uh, higher for the very long conclusion. So it is going to be 1, 2, 3, and possibly we are going to see in a very, very long uh, term uh, retest the structure. Now this resistance zone acting as support zone and as the fifth wave. This can be also possible, but this is crazy to talk about these things for now. And let's go back to our daily view. This uptrend was one of the conclusions, one of the scenarios of our midterm. Another scenario, which I would like to talk about, the continuation of momentum even more down to the bottom of this flat, because it is an ABC. This might be the link, and this seems that it's not that much powerful. I'm not seeing a continuation. That's why the short term is a downtrend in my perspective, at least. But we might see a downtrend here and to the bottom of this, because then in that case, this ABC might be counted as one wave, and this is going to be an X, and we might see another ABC here. So then in this scenario, we are going to see in the long term more range momentum, or even because that's a reason now coming back to the weekly view to complete our conclusions for the second scenario for the long term now, you can see it was less than 38 percentage. So because it was the case, I can now remove these as ABC, and also let me just remove them as well to have a clear chart. Um, it was less than that. So let me count these waves in another way, see how it can impact our long-term conclusion in the second scenario. So if I count these as uh, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this is going to be the major 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I can bring it up and coming back to my primary and intermediate color. So this 5 with the truncation in the fifth wave, that's why it has been created the double top. So it is a truncated way, which I can add truncation here. So if that's the case, then I'm not going to count it as a flat, but as you can see, this momentum has not been reached exactly to top of the two previous ones. So, and as we saw several 6 to 7 indications that we are going to have a reversal from this point. If that reversal as the short term going to be continued to our second conclusion of the midterm, then we can see this as the completion of the impulsive wave, as the first wave uh, are more major. This is the impulsive to the top, and now we are going to see a possible ABC because this has not been corrected to the 100 percentage, and maybe we are going to see a little bit of a sharp um, reversal here as the ABC. And if that's the case, then if I bring up back that support zone that we had, we are seeing that in that case we are going to see a breakdown even as the long term to this level, and yeah, to complete to the 38 percentage or even maybe 50 percentage. Then again, from this point, price can, of course, there is a possibility to move up again. So then you will see a possible weekly or monthly fake out. That also can be impossible if you want to still stick to this flat um, point of view uh, to this. Anyhow, these are the possible momentum. These are the possible analysis that we can have. And but talking about these long terms, it's really crazy. But this is the educational actually content. So I would like to share all the possible ways that and show you how it can be interpreted via technical analysis, via the chart patterns, with the Elias wave theory, and all of them hand to hand can interpret each of these momentums all together. Anyhow, this was our analysis for today on this chart. Again, I've actually covered the key points of the previous analysis, but feel free to watch the previous one if you're interested. I have a Discord server. If you have any question regarding this analysis, feel free to put them there. I will answer them as soon as I get a chance. Or if you are watching me on YouTube, this stream as a recorded video. I would be happy if you put a comment and share your feeling about this. It's always nice to hear about your feedback. Anyhow, until next analysis, thank you for watching me and wish you a great week.